I don't think it's the same chair.
Good evening and welcome to the Spalding County Board of Commissioners Extraordinary Session. It is Monday, January 22nd, 2024 at approximately 6 p.m. I would request that everybody please silence your cell phones and all other electronic devices. At this time, I'd like to ask Commissioner James Dutton from District 2 to deliver the invocation, and then Commissioner Rita Johnson from District 3 to lead us in the pledge to the flag.
Please join me in prayer. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that we're able to come together tonight as citizens of Spalding County to help guide and direct this county according to Thy will. Father, please reveal that will to us. Help us to know what would be best. Help us to know how we can increase citizen trust in the government. Help us to increase that transparency. Help us to balance our budget to help us respond to what the citizens need and also our county employees need. Father, please bless us with safety, but more importantly, Father, bless all those tonight in harm's way, our first responders, law enforcement, emergency responders, military personnel, wherever they are around the planet. Father, be with them that they can return home safely tonight or at the end of their terms to their families. Father, bless all of our families while we're away from them, that when we return, they will be safe and happy to see us. Father, we pray for these and everything else that Thou knowest we stand in need of, humbly in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. If you would, please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. There is no public hearing tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend the agenda to include an executive session for consultation with the county attorney or other legal counsel to discuss pending or potential litigation, settlement claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought against the county or any officer or employee, or in which the county or any officer or employee may be directly involved when is provided for in OCG 50-14-2-1, and a discussion of the future acquisition of real estate as provided in OCG 50-14-3.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Unanimous 5-0. Thank you. At this time, let's have a presentation of financial statement for the month ending December 31st, 2023. Ms. Dye?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Erica, can you pull that mic a little closer?
There you go. The following presentation will provide a brief overview of the county's unaudited financial activity for fiscal year 2024 as of December 31st, 2023, including revenue collections, expenditures, and encumbrances for the general and fire funds only. For the month ending on December 31st, 2023, we have completed 50% of the budget year for fiscal year 2024. General fund revenues are at 32% of budget, or $21.7 million. General fund expenditures and encumbrances are approximately 41% of budget, or $27.3 million. For the fire district, revenues are 33% of budget, or $4.1 million. Fire district expenditures and encumbrances are 56% of budget, or $7.1 million. Encumbrance totals for the fire district include the addition of 5 new fire trucks that were originally ordered in 2021 and are expected to arrive sometime this year, 2 of which will be delivered in February of March, 1 in August of 2025, and 1 in September of 2025. If you'll please look at the summary of revenue of sources. I'd like to review that with you. Taxes were collected in the amount of $10.2 million, or 47% were recognized in December. Intergovernmental revenues were collected at $7.5 million, or 34%. Interest income on invested funds was $31,789 as of the end of December. License and permit fees were collected as a total of $310,948. Fines and forfeitures in the amount of $917,675 were collected for all court fines. Charges for services as of December 31st collected was $1.5 million. Miscellaneous revenue was $1.1 million. Next, we will review the summary of expenditures and encumbrances. 58%, or $15.9 million, was used for personnel and employee benefits for December. 36%, or $9.8 million, was used for purchases and contractual services, which includes radio and computer equipment maintenance, dues and subscription, education and training, election expenses, the circuit court budget, telephone, postage, and auto and truck maintenance. 8.7%, or $2.3 million, was used for supplies, which includes office and departmental, utilities, uniforms, and fuel. 2.5%, or $682,000, is for debt services, which includes vehicle principal and interest for machinery and principal and interest on that as well. For December, capital outlay was used for reimbursements for vehicles and machinery for teeth loss. And the other costs for December are reimbursements from the SPLOST account, which is from U.S. Bank, which is paid from the general fund. We then will reimburse the general fund from the SPLOST account at U.S. Bank. And lastly, I would like to present a snapshot of the revenue and expenditures for FY24 budget. As of January the 17th, 2024, the budgeted FY24 revenues is $67.2 million, and the expenditures are estimated at $65.2 million for fiscal year 24. Revenue as of January 17th, 2024, is approximately $47.3 million, which includes $25 million from the first tranche of property taxes. Tax bills were mailed on November 14th with a January 19th, 2024 due date. The Finance Department will continue to post transactions for January until the middle of February. I will be happy and try to answer any of your questions you may have.
I have a question. I'm glad you ended on that note. What happens when we do not receive the payment of the taxes by January 19th? Are there any fines or fees attached to that?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
There will be penalties and fines attached
Is
to
there a
that.
percentage of it, or how is that calculated?
That is handled through the
Tax
Tax Commissioner's Office. Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Okay.
But I just didn't know if there were,
I do
if we
have
knew
a
that, percentage, but that's okay.
Okay. Gwen?
Yes, hey, Erica.
Hi.
When you talked about the fire fund, you talked about the total cost was based on the encumbrances we have for the fire trucks.
Yes, ma'am.
If that's, so help me understand, if the fire truck is $800,000 or whatever it is, are we budgeting that full number, or are we talking about what it would be, what the lease payment would be? Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm wondering if the amount of spending that you talked about in the fire fund related to the fire vehicles, is that coming out of it being paid as a lease purchase as opposed to being paid the entire thing?
No, it's not going to be paid in its entirety. It's going to be handled through a leasing company.
So, but the numbers that you're putting in the budget are the payment scale numbers, not the total
That's the-
number of
No,
expenditure.
ma'am, that is the total amount for the fire trucks.
It's encumbered, and then we work through the budget process to ensure that we are only calculating those payments that we will be making during that fiscal year. But we do have to encumber the money because it is a full encumbrance. It's the way that our general accounting practice is designed.
Okay, so my confusion is that the real number that you're gonna be paying is the debt service. And if you're putting $1 million in the fire account, it appears that they are, I mean, I don't know whatever the debt service would be, but if it were $200,000, that $800,000 is in limbo.
It's because the purchase order was the amount of the total of the entire vehicle, not the actual payment itself.
We
Say
will
that
s-
again?
Go ahead.
The purchase order that was keyed into the system was the total amount for the fire truck, not just the initial payment that'll be made sporadically.
Okay,
It
so.
was
so
for the whole entire
I get
vehicle.
that part. But
That's
it-
the amount for the encumbrance, because it's the PO total, the purchase order total.
But it doesn't make those numbers actual for what really is in the budget.
Correct. We will
That's-
show that in the budget process as we bring that back to you so that you can see what the actual debt service is going to be for each of those vehicles, independent of the PO.
So not that I'm saying that it's you, but it's misleading to me because, there's a lot of difference in what you're paying on time and what you've chosen to budget for on time and then what you're budgeting for the entire cost,
Yes, ma'am.
especially for 4 fire trucks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. James?
I see that there's investment income there, and that's just the interest on what we have parked in accounts.
Correct.
It just seems like since we have so much in, for example, our,
Fund balance.
the fund balance, thank you. But I know that we have to be able to get to that, but there's even 6-month CDs that we could stair step, and even then you could take the penalty for withdrawing it early if you needed to. But I mean, they're at 5.45% interest right now, and we have 17 million. You know what I mean? It just seems like that's a lot of zeros that we're not collecting. You know what I mean? Is there any movement going
Because we
towards?
had that in the money market account first.
We did. The money market account is
Versus that
only
money.
affording us an opportunity of about 1.45, 1.5% interest. There are some accounts within government general funds that we are not allowed to move into a higher interest rate account because of the liquidity. We look at that all of the time because we are in the same position that all of us are in, right? We're looking for ways to increase our interest rates for the money that we have sitting in the bank. And kudos to Erica and to Jenna for watching this money like a hawk and working to get those funds into an account that will draw much more interest.
It's just that 5.45 means well over $900,000 a year.
Yes, it
like
does.
that. And that's a lot of relief for the citizens.
Yes, it is.
We could do a lot with that money.
You know what I mean?
Good point. Any other questions? Erica, this was absolutely home run for us this first time going through it like this. So we truly appreciate what you have put together for us and the excitement of you coming in and taking over and getting your feet on the ground and then being able to give it to us in some method that we can understand. So thank you for that.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the report as presented.
I have a
Second.
motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Presentations and proclamations. Dr. Clark, President of Spalding County Technical College, would like to bring up the board to date on what's happening in the college. Welcome back, Dr. Clark. It's always good to have you here.
Thank you so much, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Thank you, everybody. Good evening. My name is Irvin Clark. I'm the proud president of Southern Crescent Technical College, and I know I came to you last year to provide you updates for the college and look forward to providing you some updates on what we've been doing this past semester and the new semester that's upon us now. So thank you again for allowing me to come out, and I will get started.
Just give us a second, we'll bring them up.
His clicker is not clicking, is it?
Do you mind just clicking on this? Thank you so
Not
much.
clicking.
Well, in the interest of time, I'll go ahead and get started because I am familiar with the slide, but. Okay, thank you. This is just some of the areas that I'm going to focus on, as I'm sure you have in front of the screen with our strategic plan, enrollment data, high demand industry sector initiatives, apprenticeships, Talent Strong, and our capital outlay project. Next slide.
Try yours now.
Okay.
No, this don't work. Okay, pretty good.
As you,
Yours?
that's okay.
Maybe yours worked.
Okay, we'll just say next slide. As you know, our focus is on workforce development, technical education, adult education, and economic development are the three tiers that we are focused on at Southern Crescent Technical College. Technical education are our academic programs, our associate degree programs, our technical certificates of completion, and our diploma programs. Our adult education program focuses on our GED and ESL program. We have the third largest GED program in the state of Georgia currently right now. We are estimating to have approximately 1,500 students in the program this year, so really excited about that. And Spalding County is actually our second largest location. Economic development programs here, we do a lot of non-credit training, working with companies in Spalding County and throughout our 8-county service area to help support industries with a lot of non-credit fast-track training. Next slide. This right here is our strategic plan. It was recently approved by our board of directors. We also received a lot of feedback from our external partners, industry partners, K-12 partners, as well as other stakeholders in terms of this strategic plan. This is the vision for the next 5 years for the college. One of the things I do want to point out is goal number 5, which is highly relevant programs that respond to industry need. That is extremely important to me and to the college community that we serve in terms of the industries, because we want to make sure our programs align with the workforce needs of our industry partners and that we can quickly adapt and change if needed to make sure that we stay focused on what we have to deliver. Next slide. Really proud of this. This is our enrollment highlights for the fall of 2023. We had a 15.7% enrollment increase from this time last year. Over 5,800 students attended the college. We had the largest enrollment increase amongst the 22 technical colleges. Really proud of that fact. That is really phenomenal considering the work that we have done throughout our service area, but particularly in Spalding County, and really thankful to the citizens of Spalding County for allowing us to serve them. Dual enrollment is also up 37%. Over 1,700 students participated, and credit hours are up at least 15%. On the left-hand side, you see the high-demand industry sectors. These are areas of importance not only to Spalding County, but to the state of Georgia. We've been asked to focus on these areas because they need a workforce. And so focusing on automotive, aviation, commercial truck driving, advanced manufacturing, allied health, which is our nursing programs, our LPN and our CNA program, and our registered nursing program are all areas of focus that we have seen tremendous growth in, and that growth has been centered on things like offering classes in the evening and on the weekend, offering classes during the day, having hybrid sections open up, having learning communities. So we've been very focused on also incumbent workers, particularly working with companies who have employees that we want to upskill. And so that has helped us to be able to move those numbers, and really proud of the impact we've had with working not only with our K-12 partners here in Spalding, Griffin, but also with those incumbent workers and those companies we're working with in the county. Next slide. This right here is just a snapshot of what's going on in Spalding County. And the one thing I do want to point out is 15% plus of our credit enrollment comes from Spalding County. So that number continues to increase. It was a little bit over 13% last semester, and now it's going up to 15% for academic year 2024. So we're really proud of that number. Adult education, also 170 students have participated in the program that are from Spalding County. So really proud of those numbers. And you also see that our partnership with Spalding County, Griffin School District, as well as Development Authority and the College and Career Academy are really critical to helping us to be able to grow enrollment here at the college. Next slide. This right here is just a overview of 2 assets that the college utilizes to help support workforce development. We do want students and encourage students to come to campus to be able to get the training, but we also recognize the need to bring the training to industry. These 2 assets you see here, our industrial systems trailer, which is through our advanced manufacturing program, and our welding trailer, are able to go to an industry sector to be able to help train individuals on site. And so if we have a company here in Spalding County that needs training in industrial maintenance, PLC training, or pneumatics and hydraulics, or they need welding training, we can bring this trailer or these trailers to that site to be able to conduct that training. This can be convenient, particularly to our incumbent workers who are looking to be upskilled and may not have the time to leave their facility, come over to our campus, and then have to travel back. We can set it up right there on site and provide the training. And these labs are set up to mimic the work environment that they are working in currently, as well as the environment or the labs that we have at the college. Next slide. Two things here. One is our CDL entrepreneurship program. This is something we're kicking off in Spalding County as well as several other counties, connecting entrepreneurship to CDL. We have a lot of individuals, particularly high school students, who want to become CDL drivers and want to connect them to entrepreneurship through our entrepreneurship program. And so they'll be able to receive training with us so that way they can earn a CDL as well as learn how to be an entrepreneur, because we want them to know how to count their money, how to order materials and such. And so making that connection is important for them. And then proud and thank you to Commissioner Davis for coming out. Last week, we opened up our LP and the Paramedic RN Bridge program. We're really excited about this program. This is the first of its kind in Metro Atlanta and here at Southern Crescent. This program was created through the genius of our Vice President of Academic Affairs right there. If you could just stand. Kimberly Register. She is our VP for Academic Affairs, but she's also our former Dean of Allied Health. And this program is really designed to really target individuals who are LPNs or paramedics and want to become RNs. The unique thing about this program is that it is a weekend program. So students will come either on Friday in Spalding or Saturday in Fayette. And because we did not have a nursing program here in Spalding County, to be able to have this program in Spalding County for Spalding County residents is critically important, because we all know that nursing is a very critical, high-demand field that needs a workforce. The cohort here in Spalding are 25 students, and we look to be able to support those students over the next year that they'll be enrolled in the program, and I cannot wait to shake their hands when they graduate. But the great thing about it is that the Georgia Board of Nursing gave us a unanimous approval for this program. And as you'll see in the next slide, these are pictures from the program that we had as the kickoff ceremony with the students, which to the left hand are the Spalding County students that we had. The other great thing about it is that our partners at Gordon State and Clayton State University have also signed an articulation agreement with Southern Crescent Technical College, where those students who complete this program can articulate to their BSN, Bachelor's of Science in Nursing program at either one of those institutions to further complete their studies, which will support hospital systems like Wellstar, which is right here in Spalding County. So really excited about that program and look forward to seeing those students graduate and stay here in Spalding County as they hopefully will go over to Wellstar to work. Next slide. This right here is our Apprenticeship 2024. I've talked about apprenticeships throughout the county and with many people about the importance of them. It's an area of need in terms of helping to support workforce development, earn and learn model that many companies are beginning to embrace. Currently, Southern Crescent leads the state in the number of apprenticeships that we offer to companies. We are focused on having 150 apprentices by the end of 2024. And to do that, we're getting the word out about it and talking to people about how important it is. There's a lot of funding that's through the State High Demand Career Initiative, HDCI. We're very thankful to the General Assembly and to the governor for approving funding for that. The college has awarded funding through the Technical College System of Georgia to several companies in our service area. We also are focused on dual enrollment students with this, helping those students see a pathway to careers through technical education, through apprenticeships, which we think are critically important. Next slide. Talent Strong. This is a program that we're doing for graduating high school seniors. This program is focused on students who are going to go in one of these three areas. These are very, very, very important areas here in Spalding County. Number of industries that we have here sit in this county need industrial maintenance technology technicians, need mechatronics technicians, and need machine tool technicians. We have those assets here in Spalding County to be able to support the training for that, but we're targeting high school seniors who are graduating this year to be able to help them learn about these career opportunities and go into this field. And the college has positioned itself through our Talent Strong initiative, currently working with these companies to help recruit students for that. So look forward to coming back and sharing with you more about that cohort once we get it started for Spalding County. Next slide. Want to just finally just wrap up with our capital outlay project, the RAM Center, robotics, advanced manufacturing, automation, and economic development. This is the Ellis Crossing site where we have our film studio at. We submitted recently a request to the state of Georgia through the Technical System of Georgia to fund a robotics automation lab. And this is going to be a replacement of what we currently have that's in our Dundee building. It is very outdated and it does not have enough space. And because advanced manufacturing is growing at such a rapid pace here in Spalding County, we want to be able to have a facility that really mirrors and reflects, I should say, the need to have enough space, enough equipment, and the level of training that's needed for companies who are currently here to be able to get that training, but also to attract students to these different types of industries. And so this center is a comprehensive center that we have requested funding through the General Assembly and through the governor to be able to build. This is existing space in the Ellis Crossing site that we would be retrofitting to be able to fit this robotics center. And so look forward to the General Assembly making the decision on that. And the governor, again, he has to approve that as well as the General Assembly, but wanted to make you as commissioners aware that we have put this request into the state for these funds to be able to be utilized for this center. And the great thing is it would be centered here in Spalding County. And so the companies in Spalding County would be direct beneficiaries of this center. And I believe that concludes my presentation. I want to thank you again for allowing me to come out and speak today.
Thank you, Dr. Clark.
Thank you, Dr. Clark.
I'd like to make a couple comments, if you don't mind. Dr. Clark is attacking areas in our county that are in bad need of assistance. Nurses is one of them. It is a bad situation as far as I'm concerned on the number of nurses. He took the ball after he saw what the issue was and ran that ball up. And now we're getting RNs from LPNs and CNAs that are bridging to be able to do that. And if those number that we think are going to be able to stay, as the chairman of the board for the hospital, it is critical. Everywhere we go in our county, somebody's raising their hand saying, we need nurses, we need nurses.
Yeah.
Secondarily from that, think about the people that are in the CI, people who are coming out. We're trying to not let them go back in one time out, giving them things like welding. There's a number of things that's on his plate to be able to do this. So the issues that are facing our county, Dr. Clark and Southern Crescent are attacking and doing a great job, and I want to say thank you. Our county is going to be better because of your insights and where we need to go. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Any other comments from the board?
Dr. Clark, I think it's great what you're doing. The Bridge program is a good program. It's hard, but you're a nurse just like anybody else after 4 years. So that is really good. I appreciate that. While you were talking, I'm looking at the different jobs and job areas that you're talking about. And what came to mind for me is that those are great jobs, skill sets that could produce middle-class income. We don't have anywhere for them to stay. So when you're talking to industry, is there a conversation with them at all about how to house the talent that you're creating within our county?
We have not had those specific conversations with industry. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's all I had.
Other commissioners?
As somebody, as somebody who took advantage of the joint enrollment program back when I was in high school, I wish they'd have had, you know, the stuff that's available right now. Like, it's really awesome. I'd love to see the 25% jump in 1 year of people taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
When I was at Georgia State, we worked on their strategic plan. I was the one student that pulled the short straw to be on that board to do the Georgia State's current strategic plan. And we had the idea that really took off for a signature experience. So whether it's an apprenticeship or to be on the football team or to do a study abroad. We didn't want people just to leave with a piece of paper, but we wanted, like, what'd you do in college? Oh, I got this degree. Well, oh, no, when I was in college, I did this, and they want to talk about the signature experience. And so when you talk about these apprenticeships, like, I'm in such that's so key. That's so key because it's really that hands-on learning that makes a difference. Is there thoughts, and I know that you also looked into the CDL, is there thoughts of doing more apprenticeships, and not just apprenticeships, but like internships and externships and study abroads, having those signature experiences?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
in fact, Dr. Ledbetter and I met today with the school district. We are planning a summer jobs program that includes a pre-apprenticeship. And so, we literally just met today to talk about, and I shared with them my vision for it. I'm not really prepared to share it at this time, everything, because we have to still work through some things. But the goal with that program is really to align students from Griffin Spalding schools with high demand careers that are in Spalding County and connecting them to technical education programs at Southern Crescent, but concurrently to employers that want to hire technical education graduates. So a good example could be culinary. We have a culinary program here, and there are many businesses out here that need food prep and catering specialists that a high school student who's a junior, senior can get exposure to that program through Southern Crescent, but also work with an employer over the summer. And we would teach them employability skills because we know that employers want students to be able to come on time, to be able to have work ethics that are strong, other things that employers are talking to us about that they need us to focus on. So that's just one example of what we're doing to be innovative, not doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We're
Right.
pushing ourselves to the limit and saying, we're going to try this, we're going to bring the right partners to the table, we're going to be innovative, and we're going to move the needle. And if it takes 5 students and then we get the small win, then we're going to keep building and building and building.
You mentioned that culinary program. Do you guys work with the UGA campus here locally? I know that they've just opened a commercial kitchen.
Yep.
With the idea being folks could come in that maybe aren't ready to open their own restaurant, but like, hey, maybe if I bake cookies and I can sell enough cookies, then I bake cookies 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And then maybe I hey, this is worth quitting my job and taking this risk and sort of transitioning into that, or at least trying to. Most people who go through a culinary program, I would assume, go and work somewhere as a cook, but or a chef or a sous chef or whatever. But is there an entrepreneurial side to that as well that you guys are working on?
Yeah, we are. In fact, and I didn't put it in my presentation, but we're standing up 3 entrepreneurship centers. And that RAM Center that last slide actually had in there, which if we get the funding through the General Assembly and the governor, if they approve it, will include a entrepreneurship center, which will support those activities that you talked about. But it is baked in there because, not even just with culinary, but makerspace, CNC.
Yeah.
Those types of things that you have a lot of entrepreneurs here in Spalding County that want to create things and having that makerspace over there because of the advanced manufacturing piece. So yeah, we are thinking about that. And again, we have stood up 3 centers right now, but the funding for Spalding County is contingent on the General Assembly and the governor approving that, but that would be a part of it.
All right. Well, we'll be making some calls to our friends up there too, and trying to support you. So
Thank you.
I was just gonna say, I'm glad we're working with Dr. Ledbetter, on some of these things. Any letters of support that this board could actually offer, I'm sure we're in agreement that we would do anything we can to support you in that. I actually also work with Dr. Clark on the Georgia Regional College and Career
That's right,
Academy. We
yeah.
just left
We
there
just
2
had a
minutes
meeting
ago.
today.
So this kind of goes hand in hand with that workforce
right.
development.
That's
So
right.
anything that we can do to support that, we would be
Absolutely.
more than willing to do it for you.
Definitely.
As
Thank
we
you
see
so
the work
much.
that you're
Thank you.
absolutely.
Anything else on? Thank you. Keep
Thank
it up.
you so
We're
much.
excited about it.
Thank you
Dr.
so
Clark.
much.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 2, Newton Galloway, Spalding County zoning attorney, will update the Board of Commissioners on the transfer of the city of Sunnyside to Spalding County. I believe this is going to be a Dr. Ledbetter and Ms. Wyndham presentation.
That
Yes,
is
sir,
correct.
that's correct.
Okay.
House Bill 542 is the bill that was passed to repeal the act to incorporate the city of Sunnyside and to transfer all the property, assets, liabilities, anything that was necessary to continue to run what was once the city of Sunnyside to Spalding County, and also to provide for the designation of the historic Sunnyside community. Mr. Galloway has put together a report, which all of you will be receiving a copy, and the only things that are yet to be done are those few things that we couldn't do up until this point. So we're beginning the process to set up a special services district. The licenses and the business licenses have all been transferred to Spalding County. You enacted a moratorium at your last meeting for building permits inside the city of Sunnyside. The Spalding County will be making signs to designate the historic Sunnyside Township, and any City of Sunnyside signs will be coming down. They have also transferred the real property consisting of its City Hall. That has been conveyed and that deed has been recorded. And Mayor Slaughter signed a letter today which transferred all of the real and tangible and intangible personal property to Spalding County, which did not consist of much. Some folding chairs and tables and a copier, I think, so.
I don't envy whoever had to inventory that, then.
Yeah. I mean, either Dr. Ledbetter or I are happy to answer any questions, but you will receive a copy of the full report, just so that you know the bulk of the work has been done. Anything that's left is in process.
I believe the copy of the full report was left at your dais.
Okay, comments, questions?
Has Sunnyside already been designated as a historic city? It
As
has a
of-
designation already?
No, it did not have, it was a municipality, and that charter has now lapsed.
Right, but you
been
said that we
repealed.
needed to maintain.
Oh, no,
the-
to make the signs, to designate it as the historic township or the historic community of Sunnyside,
Historic Sunnyside community, yeah.
which that's what is included in the House bill.
That's
House
correct.
Bill
542.
Yeah.
Oh, so they just called it something else?
They call it
Right, they
Historic
call it
Township of
Historic
Sunnyside.
Sunnyside Community.
Okay.
Now, just, this is nice to have, but there's going to be,
Yes.
this is not free. So just, everybody just needs to know, when we get to the budget time, this is not free. This is additional work that we, okay.
Much of which you were already doing
Yeah.
for the city of Sunnyside, so there are a few things, but
So is this something that we need to vote on, or you just making a presentation?
Yes, ma'am, we're just making the presentation and letting you know where we stand.
Okay.
All right, any other comments or questions on that? Okay,
sir.
item number 7, citizen comments. Speakers must sign up prior to the meeting and provide their names, addresses, and the topic they wish to discuss. Speakers must direct your comments to the board and not to individual members or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual members or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. The chairman has the right to limit your comments in the interest of disposing of the county's business in an efficient and respectful manner. Speakers will be allocated 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to matters pertinent to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No questions will be asked by any of the members during citizen comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy and civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speakers will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Dr. Ledbetter.
Yes, sir, we have one citizen who has signed up this evening, Ms. Stephanie Wyndham. If you would, please come to the dais and state your name and your address for the record, please.
my name is Stephanie Wyndham. I am the managing partner of the law firm of Beck, Owen & Murray, 100 South Hill Street, Suite 600, Griffin, Georgia. I want to thank the board for allowing me to speak to you, not as your representative, but as a legal professional and a citizen. For those members of the public viewing this meeting who don't know me, I've been a lawyer for the past 27 years, and my peers in the legal community, through an organization called Martindale Hubbell, have given me the highest rating an attorney can achieve. I've served this community as a citizen by taking on unpaid roles as chair of the Chamber of Commerce, the first female president of the Rotary Club of Griffin, and co-chair of the UGA Griffin Spalding Archway Executive Committee. I don't say all of that to give myself praise, but to make clear that as a member of the bar and as a servant of this community, my professional reputation and my character have never been questioned. That changed in a very unfortunate way at this board's last meeting, when one commissioner stated repeatedly that I had advised this board to illegally withdraw a request by the county to obtain proposals by law firms to provide legal services, and for my own financial benefit. This is false. I remained silent while these remarks were made as I sat in the chair up there representing this county because that was my duty. But I cannot stand by and allow my reputation to be impugned any longer. I come to you as a private citizen to set the record straight. The truth, which any of you can confirm for yourselves by reviewing the recording of the commissioners' meeting on January 3rd of last year, is that this board sent out a public request for law firms to put their names in to serve as county attorney. While that request was pending and without any input from me or my firm, this board decided by 3-2 vote to withdraw that request for qualifications and appoint me, and by extension my firm, as county attorney for 2023. The RFQ explicitly stated that the county reserved the right to disregard any and all proposals it received to serve as county attorney. The county's code of ordinances does not state anything different. You don't need a law degree to study the public record and confirm that what I'm saying is true. And let's not forget that no other firm even responded to the request in 2023. So with the record clear, the citizens of Spalding County, who this board serves, now know that I never advised this board to break the law, and I certainly did not advise this board to do anything that personally benefited me or my firm at taxpayer expense. The truth is now a matter of public record, and I stand by my reputation. In closing, our firm has proudly represented Spalding County for more than 60 years. I understand that this board is free to appoint whoever they want to this position, but no one has ever advised me that my performance was deficient. In fact, the feedback that I routinely receive from members of the board, staff, and other elected officials is quite the opposite. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to responding to the county's RFQ or RFP and hope to continue to serve as your legal counsel.
Thank you, Ms. Wyndham. Right down to the second. Thank you. Item number 8, minutes. Consider approval of the minutes of the Spalding County Board of Commissioners work session and regular meeting on December 4th, 2023.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
You have a
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0. New business. Item number 9. 1, consider request from the Correctional Institution to enter into a contract with the Southern Crescent Technical College to provide GED testing services through its VUE, testing center for persons at the participating facilities. Dr. Ledbetter?
This time I'd like to recognize the warden.
Good evening. This is just a renewal of a contract that we have with Southern Crescent. They actually provide the instructor for the class, and this is to test for the GED.
And you're recommending approval?
Yes, sir.
Motion to
It's
approve.
been reviewed and revised, yes.
Okay. All right, do I have a mission?
You have a second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those.
Keep up the good work.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the warden. You know, I know that you've worked extensively with Southern Crescent, and what I see as your mission for the people that you're responsible for at the prison is exactly what I envision that would happen for us here in the community. So keep doing what you're doing, and I'm just glad that we have you here on staff.
Yeah,
Thank you.
let me carry on the things we're talking about here, besides what he's doing right here on the GED. We're talking about firefighters that you have been able to do.
Wow, yeah. Wow.
Taking-
Welders.
Taking people that have made a mistake somewhere along the line, and we're getting ready to go back into the same environment that they came from. giving them a skill that they can go out and find a job to be able to do something. As a matter of fact, one of the commissioners in another county routinely takes the welders and gives them, as fast almost as he can produce them, turns them around, gets them into a job, and then takes those people, and he says, I don't get them for very long, because once they're out from the CI and they're working for me, then they're moving on. But my way of doing business and keeping it down, bring those people in there, give them a chance, and he believes in second chance. So the ideas of what you're doing for the people that are in your charge, I truly, truly appreciate, and I know that all of us feel the same way. So we're lucky to have you. So
And I'm just
thank you.
gonna just also say, as you know, having the opportunity to witness those 8 baptisms during the holiday was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough. That was so emotional. That was so moving. To see those, gentlemen to basically give their lives, to the Lord was unbelievable. And talk about bring yourself into the holiday spirit, when we did that. I mean, just really just kind of knowing what it's all about. Honestly, I can't thank you enough for that. It was incredible.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We like you.
Yeah, we like it. One
like
last thing I will have to admit, I was at the graduation for the firefighters from the CI, and ended up standing next to one of the moms. And she said, this is as happy as I have ever seen my son. He's got a lot of problems, but they're coming out. And the look in his eyes, and to see what he is turning himself into, is just heartwarming for a mom. So thank you for that kind of stuff that's going on.
Thank you.
I want to add, because this just shot in my mind, when people talk about our terrible prison system and, there's all these for-profits and Robert, I had a conversation this weekend with one of our elected officials up in Atlanta, and they said, man, we got to make a bunch of changes and we got to overhaul. And I said, okay, as long as it doesn't affect RCI, we got a great warden, we got a great situation, they're all getting their GED. Well, we need to make sure that most of these folks are out there doing something. Every single person in RCI every single day is out there working. No one's sitting around bored. We're not just feeding somebody. Like, they're all out there working, learning a skill, doing and they were, really? Spalding County? Absolutely. I did say, hey, I think you guys should give us more per day to house these folks.
Agree with that.
But when I get a chance to stand up for what's right, we absolutely do, and you guys are doing a fantastic job out there. So
Thank you.
we got your back.
Great job.
If we can do something to help you from the board's perspective with your hire and stuff like that, please don't hesitate to let us know.
I appreciate it. I do want to mention that the substancy is a hot topic right now. I've got a letter that I'm preparing to send to some legislators and other wardens that I'll be getting to Dr. Ledbetter. I'd appreciate any support on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just
But-
get it to us.
Please let us do that. We need to 5-0 send that up. That there was some talk of perhaps some extra money coming in that direction, and it needs to happen instead of that getting sent somewhere else. We need to start taking care of that situation in a big way.
Thank you.
Another good thing inside of Spalding County. Thank you, Warden.
Right, you have a motion in a second.
Call for the question.
All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand.
That's
I didn't think we.
Yeah, we had our motion.
Yeah, we did. All right.
We didn't vote.
5-0, motion carries. Item number 2, review the recommendation from Parks and Leisure Services Advisory Commission to refuse the offer to accept the property at Old Springs Sewer Plant. Dr. Ledbetter?
So this is the second time that this has come before you. I believe, Ms. Gwen, you sit on that.
Yes,
that
sir.
commission.
Mr. Chairman, I really, before I make a motion, I really think for us it should be tabled, because the last thing that the Water Authority said to us at our last meeting was that they're looking at whether or not they can sell it. And so that means we can't get it. So if you don't mind tabling this till next month, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with something that will say that we're done.
I'm
All
perfectly
right.
fine
All right,
with
motion
that.
table.
Motion?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion's tabled.
I love table stuff.
It's nice.
Consider request from the Spalding County State Court Judge Josh Thacker and Director Martha Matthews to add a FY24 fully funded administrative position. Hello, you two. Welcome back.
Hello, you all. So, just before we jump into that, I just want to say that what the warden just did, we just sent our contract for that to Stephanie. So, we're following right on their footsteps, and we should all be working with the sheriff and the warden, all moving in the same direction. So, just to let you know, we were really excited when we heard that, because we were like, hey, we just sent our contract to Stephanie. So, anyway, so where we're at is, you all were kind enough to create a new department. So Spalding County Sentence Enforcement has been rocking and rolling since they opened their doors. They have been exclusively taking care of the defendants and the probated defendants in the Spalding County State Court. But of course, as we said when we opened, the goal was to bring on the misdemeanor defendants in the Superior Court as well as the defendants in the Magistrate Court. And that way, that's the whole purpose of sentence enforcement, is to serve through one place all of the people in a unified way. Well, we've been talking with Superior Court, Magistrate Court, working with them exclusively. Director Matthews has spent many, many hours with Judge Kavanaugh, and they're ready to bring on Superior Court and Magistrate Court starting February 1st. However, the current staffing level is, through my own fault, because I've never created a department, barely adequate to cover the state court. And so adding these two new courts will require additional personnel to cover it, or she may set her hair on fire and run away, and then I'll be in a really bad spot. So what we wanted to do is this. There was, through a miscommunication with me and you all earlier, I ended up with a position that I didn't fill for several months. And so I'm asking you all to take that money out of my account and move it to theirs. That'll cover that position for them for the remainder of this fiscal year. And that way it's covered and it's not adding anything to you all. And I also wanted to let you all know that obviously when you all jumped off this cliff with us, that one of the things we wanted to make certain you knew is that, we're a $0 court. I need to say that. I cannot say that enough. I cannot say that loudly enough. I'm going to say it till you tell me to scream. Every dollar that comes through this court can either be worked off with community service work or waived or anything else. And we do it regularly, and frankly, we don't even have hearings on it. She just emails me the order, I sign it, we waive it back. But with that said, the imposition and collection of fines and fees is a central part of Georgia law, and therefore is a part of what we do. And a portion of the defendants do choose to pay those fines instead of community service work and choose to pay those supervision fees and whatnot. And so you all asked us to let you know kind of where we're at on them versus, what the defendants choose to pay versus what their operating expenses are. We just crunched those one more time before we came up here. And the defendants who have chosen to pay their fines and have chosen to pay their fees, last month they came within $1,000 of breaking even. And they're also a little bit up on fine collection, even though we open-handedly give away community service work hours on those. Last month they were up by 7,000 in collections. Even though community service work is readily available and doesn't even need my permission. So things are looking good. Obviously, no business turns a profit in the first year, and we're not looking for a profit. That's just a figure of speech that we're just trying to make certain that we're good stewards of the money and that we protect our defendants, but at the same time, that we're good stewards of the taxpayers' money. So that's where we're at. And but at the same time, though, if they add this court and we don't get her some help, I'm worried that I'll have to, go run it myself, which is going to run it into the ground. So, have I done it? Okay. So she is doing a wonderful job, but I do need to say out loud that I did underestimate the staff needed for the existing level. Her staff is working very hard. They don't take a lot of days off. And it's been hard. We knew the first year would be hard, but it has been much harder than we anticipated. I've had to go sit down with her on several occasions and say, I'm really sorry. I really wish I could ask you for 3. That's where we started, but if you could give us the one administrative assistant position to get us from here to there, then we believe we can get through this one and then discuss everything else at budget time.
All right. I know there's a number of questions,
Yes.
so let's start through as we're ready to go.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Fire away.
To me, this is no different than what happened with the elections board. If that money is in his budget, he has the right to use it to give it to somebody else. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, that's clearly
Let's
what.
make sure we're all talking the same thing. We're talking about money
In,
for
in the
rest of
court
this
budget.
fiscal year.
Right, the money that he
So,
has in
from
his
now
budget.
till June 30. That's what I'm trying to make sure all of us are talking about the one thing.
I
He's got
think,
money,
Mr. Chairman, I think the difference here is that this was a newly created department. So it's moving it from one departmental budget to
another
another department.
department.
And I am
Okay.
the supervisor of
Okay.
both departments.
So it can only get moved through us
That's
instead
correct.
of him being able to move.
So he's not
Okay.
adding anything different.
No.
right?
I don't
It's
have
just
any
moving.
problem to 30 June. He's got to come back and work through the budget process from 1 July on for those positions. We're all looking and saying the same thing.
But we're anticipating by that point, because of the increase in court's capacity, that it will have generated the revenue to then continue it making it net neutral, right?
Because
Like
we're about to
that's-
add 2 courts.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So we need to add 1 full-time administrative position, assistant position, to make certain that they don't get overwhelmed with their, and we're working very hard to utilize technology. We're working very closely with the database. We're putting iPads in for check-in. We're doing everything we can to use technology to streamline, but we still do need one more administrative assistant position in Department 3450.
I'm gonna ask the question. I think I asked this last time. Even with this, and I mean, I know this is the thing we don't wanna hear, but I'm gonna ask it. Are you still cutting yourself too thin with this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And
Okay.
like I said, the first email I sent said we need 3 more people, and we do need 3 more people. And you can see it on Director Matthews' face. We need 3 more people.
If y'all pulled my timesheet, y'all would probably fall out of your chair. I lost almost 68 hours of comp time at the end of the year because there was just no time to take it. I've missed my son's football, sports banquet. I've missed lots of things.
Interesting.
And it's been hard, and we knew it would be hard, but it has been much harder than we anticipated. And that's why my first email said, we need 2 admins and a PO, and that's what we've been trying to figure out how to do. And I've got a rock star right here, and I do not want to lose this rock star, and that's why I am standing in front of you all ready to take the punches that need to be taken so that we can, so if,
All right, now,
If-
let's talk about revenue generation on the other side of this coin. Because my belief is we want this to be revenue neutral. This is
Effectively.
Close to. This is fines and stuff like that.
Well, that's kind of a different conversation.
Yeah, but that's.
fines are separate, so this is fees, these are supervision fees, and we've crunched the numbers. And the supervision fees that will come in through magistrate court and superior court by adding them would actually support 2 admins. And we both are very confident in that number, that it would support 2 admins. But again, I've learned that the less I ask for, the more I can get, but I'm also cutting this very fine. If y'all are willing to let me move on my original request for 3 for 2 admins, that would give her an admin that she desperately needs. And it's still, because again, we're within $1,000 where we are now, and we're about to add 2 courts, and those numbers will absolutely more than support 2 admins.
Is there any way, and again, like I said Saturday, I hate giving away the gaff as a defense attorney, but what about raising the probation fee by $5 a month? Would that get us another person? Would that, you see what I'm saying? Like, because we
Sure, I mean,
can
we-
balance this in
that's
different
set
ways,
by
you know what I
y'all.
mean? Like, again, that's.
Is it?
Yes.
That's us do, correct?
It's in our contract that y'all all approved, and so that's where those numbers came from. I mean, we
That-
currently have a little bit over 1,000 cases right now that are paying, but that doesn't include a lot of different positions, people in jail, or we do unsupervised with Judge Thacker. There's more opportunity for us to collect even more fees, but right now, we're struggling to adequately manage the caseloads
Right.
properly. I mean, we're definitely doing the best we can. We typically work most of the weekends trying to just keep everything going. And I like for everything to be perfect and us to do the best job, obviously, that we can. But I do think if we had some support, we could even manage the current caseloads that we have right now in a better fashion and generate more business than what we already have.
Let me piggyback on that right fast. I go to a lot of courts, okay, and I say this about Judge Thacker all the time, but when I'm signing a client who's just taken a plea, I won't name the other counties, but counties that touch us, when they're talking to their probation officers, their brand new probation officers, this person has just had like the worst day of their life. They've just taken some plea. They're about to lose and now they got to talk to just the worst version of a DMV employee who clearly does not care about them, who clearly is not. It is totally different. I had two people that signed up for probation today, and the admin that met them was smiling,
That's
was
Miss
happy.
Burke.
Please
She's
come in. Oh,
amazing.
absolutely. Oh, is there a problem? Let's go talk about it. How do we? Hey, I understand. Let me answer any questions you have. It took a little longer, right? But like that person left going, yeah, these people aren't out to get me. These people are here to help enforce this. It's a totally different experience, and it's so much more of a positive experience. Probation isn't supposed to be, it's not supposed to be a lovely, we should all hope to be on probation. But at the same time, it's not this draconian thing that it is in other places. And it makes a huge difference to the actual level of enforcement, because we probably violate a lot less people. I don't know the statistics, but I know even from my own clients, they're catching more violations in other places because it's almost set up as an us versus them. Whereas here it's like, hey, let's help you succeed and pay these fines and do your community service. Whereas in other counties to the north of us, it's very much like, you better do what I say. And it's like this, wait a minute, and it's and so you guys get all kinds of kudos for that from me.
Well, now you know why I'm standing here, because I have a rock
Right.
star who's hired a team of rock stars, and I'm worried about burning them out.
Yeah.
Get it?
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So just help me understand this. When you guys first came to us, the staff that you presented to us was supposed to cover cases from state court and who?
Just state court.
Okay. And so now you want the cases from Superior Court and Magistrate Court to be added to this. Who was doing their stuff before?
JCS up in Fayette County, another private probation company, had the Superior Court contract, and Judge Kavanaugh did not have a probation, and so she had kind of created a wonky system that worked for her that she did not want to keep. She really wanted to be a part of this. And so JCS she actually met with him today.
I met with them this morning, and there's a lot of, defendants that don't have transportation and things like that, so a lot of them were getting violated because they can't get out there. I spoke to her
To
about
Fayette.
some of the concerns that, she said she had today, and she said that she was actually looking forward, the manager of the JC office, for that contract to come back here, because she thinks it's gonna be much easier to be able to assist the defendants that are sentenced here in Spalding County.
What's JC?
JCS is Judicial Correction Services. And it's just another private probation company. They do a good job. I've known them for many years, but they're not who we're trying to do and be as we move forward.
So this is the point I wanted to make. However, Judge Kavanaugh was doing her probation, it was costing her money to do that. So I'm feeling like money should come out of her budget, because whatever she was spending, she's not gonna be spending now if we pay for another assistant. And the same thing with the other courts. They were paying somebody to do their stuff. So how were they doing their probation?
The probation,
gets paid
this is why
by-
we're moving away from pay for probation. This is exactly the question. Because the defendants must pay their supervision fees for their probation officers to earn a salary. Let me rephrase that again. In private probation, the probationers must pay their supervision fees for their probation officer to receive a salary. We're Spalding County. That's not how this works. And that's exactly why we came here, so the defendants would know that their probation officer does not need to get their money for them to do it. Now, a certain percentage will choose to pay because that's the choice that they made, and these numbers support that. But that's certainly not a mandatory thing, and all the incentives are better with our situation.
So, but you're not understanding what I'm saying, Judge.
But
What
sure,
I'm
I'm trying
saying is
hard.
that someone had to do their probation. Someone had to do Judge Kavanaugh's probation, somebody had to do the Superior Court probation. So it costs money to do whatever it was that they were doing. That was a process.
Yes.
But
If
it
they
costs the
want-
probationer.
Hold on just a second. It cost the probationer, whoever, somebody was paying it. That's what I'm saying. And I know you're not trying to take money, but when you're trying to ask for 2 new people, that doesn't add up, because you're providing a service for 2 other courts who should be budgeting for their own stuff to make this happen.
But,
It's,
but
am I being
the budget
complete?
isn't county money. All of the payment to do those services, both at the Superior Court and the Magistrate Court, come from the probationer when they every month pay their probation fee. You see what I'm saying? So there's not a line item necessarily. I mean, I think it comes in and goes right back out. So I think there is a line item, but all that money gets collected from the probationer and then gets paid for the service. We would just move that from that court to our court. It's not, there's no money to take from their budget. It all comes in from the probationer.
Well, I mean, you generated what you thought would be able to operate. You told us you needed X, Y, Z amount of money to do that. Then you came back and said, I also want to make sure that we hire this group of people to do this, and we agreed to do that. And it was not based on them generating funds, that they got paid based on what you collected, that the county got paid. So my point is that I think it's a great idea that you want everything under that umbrella, but the parties that you're collaborating with, the other courts, I don't see where they have skin in the game in the front. I mean, I don't understand. You can't afford to add the extra people on because you don't really have the money.
But the fees that will be paid by the new defendants will very likely offset the costs of the personnel for the defendants who chose to do it. I'm sorry, I have to say that every time I talk about money. For the defendants who choose to pay the fees and fines, it will very likely offset.
Which is still the
Superior Court
overwhelming majority.
alone will cover, I believe Superior Court alone will cover both positions. I don't think we even need magistrate in there, but we want, she's wanted part of this. Judge Kavanaugh wanted this all along, and this was our goal.
Okay, this may not be about you, but I would like to know which court it was that asked us to provide money for computer services or a computer plan, and we paid for it and then we didn't get any money. Which court is that?
Judge, Superior Court.
So is that the same Superior Court that you guys will be doing probation for?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, the money isn't coming from the Superior Court, because the money comes from the probationer.
All right, let's stay on track here to be able to. the
No,
question-
I'm just trying to understand,
That's not my
because if we're
project.
gonna provide a service, they wanna provide a service for the Superior Court. The Superior Court doesn't have a good record for me for putting their money back where they're supposed
All
to.
right, so, do I have a motion to allow the movement from one line to another line for the rest of this fiscal year?
So moved.
All right?
Second.
Is that, do I need, I'll make sure I said that.
And that's what we're
And then
doing.
need to
Okay,
add-
and
hold
so
on.
I have a motion, and a second, all right?
Which gives you a
To-
total
and
of, because you've already got the
And
one.
as Judge Thacker just said, and to add the administrative position, which was not included with our former agreement.
I don't have a problem with that, but that's for half a year, basically 6 months. And then
Right, 'cause we've gotta
during
come
the
back to
budget
the normal
process,
budget process.
We will talk about the other 2 or 3. Okay?
Right, are we all,
So you're gonna amend your,
And that was, I'm so sorry.
no, so,
No.
so.
That'll still leave us very lean. I just need
Yes.
to say that out
Oh,
loud, that
absolutely.
like,
yeah.
But we have a budget
So-
process to try to fix that. Okay.
So my motion is to give Judge Thacker what he's asking for. That's my motion.
That's a 6-month.
Yes, for the 6 months.
All right, I have a motion. Do I
Is
have a
that,
second?
okay, so do we need to state that motion out?
I
Yeah,
think
can
so.
we restate that motion so
Right.
we are clear?
Right.
Okay, so we're moving the money that was earlier allocated from the state court's budget,
2,300.
2,300, to 3,450 for a total of 2 administrative assistants, right?
No,
No. Read what's
They're
on
saying
Commissioner
the,
Dunn, if you could read from your screen,
Read
then
this.
it
Oh, there we
would
go.
be the appropriate
the
motion.
bottom one.
They're saying one. The 2 just came up in conversation.
Yes.
Oh, I see, okay.
The state court, go ahead.
So my motion is to fund the position, that the state court is proposing to transfer the monies from 2,300 to 3,450 to cover the position through July 1st, 2024. And,
That's 2025.
yeah, then 2025 should be net neutral going on, but that's gonna have to come back through the normal budgeting process.
All right?
And,
I
and
second.
also
And to
to
add
add a FY '24 fully funded administrative position, which
Yes.
is in the
Yes, and
paragraph.
to add that administrative position fully funded moving
Fiscal
forward.
year 2024.
Yeah, for 2024.
I'll second that.
All right, we're all talking 6 months, right? I want to make
Yes.
sure. At one position,
One
6 months
position through the end
funding
of this
and
fiscal year.
transferring it from one place to another
So it's
place.
the transfer of monies and to add for the one position. I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right, we're gonna have a lot more discussion later on
We'll visit
about
this
this.
at the
And
next
this,
budget.
if I, Judge, if you have some documentation before or when you get ready to do your budget process, I would like for you to be on the front line, the front of, during this, because I think it's very important what you guys are doing. And I get it, you want to be at home sometime. But if you can bring the numbers that can show us where it's trending, revenue neutral, I don't think there will be any problem with getting your other two
And I
people.
have those, and I'll come with her to her budget meeting, and we'll present them.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Because we were just reviewing the whole thing, and that's not for now.
Well, no, that's okay. We
Budget
need to
week
get
would
that
be
in our
great.
mind right now.
We have it.
All right, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
We're working to
your
get you
Miss
there.
Martha,
Yes, sir. Thank
come
you.
back to see us.
I appreciate it.
Seriously, you guys are doing fantastic. You really are.
Thank you. Item number 4.
This stays with.
Consider approval of a resolution designating the detention center courtroom located at 401 Justice Boulevard, Griffin, Georgia, as an alternate court facility.
Do we have a picture?
Mr. Chairman, just so you know, what you see on the screen is not the most recent revision of this document. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at paragraph 6, that has been changed to remove the chief judges of Spalding County and to designate that it is is Judge Thacker of the State Court of Spalding County, because this courtroom has to be a state courtroom.
Okay? All right.
Can you
Not
tell
that
us
Judge
what the
Thacker can't
difference
let everybody
is?
else use it, but
Difference what?
Somebody's
What's
got
the
to manage
difference?
it.
somebody's got to do it.
Difference between it being a state courtroom and a superior court
It's
courtroom?
in reality, the only difference is who schedules the use of the courtroom.
There are two code sections that govern this, and they require orders from the state court judge and also from the superior court judge. Those orders are in process, and that will serve to actually finalize this designation. But you have to designate this additional courtroom because it's outside of the courthouse.
Okay.
And to be fair, I'm being told you all have already done this in days gone by, but we can't find it. So
That's okay. We
I'm sure it's
understand how to
somewhere.
fix that stuff. All right. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to designate as an official courtroom, the detention center courtroom under Judge Thacker.
And if you notice, the sheriff is in the back of the room, and he also
Thumbs up.
approves of this. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
It's
All-
great, the changes that you guys went through.
Rita, was that you
Thank you for
second?
hunting that down.
And
That was my
I'll email you all like before and after pictures. And by the way, the architect and the project manager, Alexander Hope is sitting right there.
Yeah, we
When you
understand.
see it and you're amazed at it, just want you to know who is the one who made all those choices, and it wasn't me. I was just the project
And
manager.
he has not been shy about talking to each one of us about that.
Yeah,
All right,
so.
anything else? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you for putting the work in to get this done. Item number 5, consider approval of an IGA between Spalding County and Spalding County Water and Sewage Facilities Authority to utilize inmate work details for services and on public works projects. Warden, back again, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Anybody have a-
Not real sure where I begin on this one, but,
Should I?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, this IGA has been reviewed and revised in coordination with the general manager of the Water Authority. Members of the Water Authority have been briefed, and this will be included on their February agenda for consideration. This is fairly similar to all the inmate IGAs that we have with other governmental entities. It is just the first time that we've had one with the Water Authority.
Correct.
all right. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All right, second. All right. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you, Warden.
Item 6, Consider appointment to the Atlanta Regional Commission to succeed Gwen Flowers Taylor for a one-year term ending December 31st, 2024. Ms. Flowers Taylor, would you like to continue on with that, please?
I'm trying not to curse, but no. And I say that, Mr. Chairman, because the meetings that I attend, nothing in that meeting affected us. It's all about downtown Atlanta. I mean, and so my question would be, are we statutorily required to participate with them?
I have not looked into it.
All right, let's table that to see.
Yeah.
And let's find out if we absolutely have to, and if there's, crudely said, are you making most of them, some of them?
There's only like one every quarter or something like that, but I went to 3 of them, and
They talk about MARTA and this kind
they
of stuff.
talk about everything with transportation, but nothing out of Fulton County.
Mr. Chairman, I remember at one point that Alton Knight, as a member of the Development Authority, actually served on the Atlanta Regional Commission. So I'll make sure that it is actually a position that has to come from a member of this board
And
as
then
well.
I'll answer my question.
All right, do I have a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Motion is tabled. Report of the county manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to cover a few things this evening. We are expecting significant weather again over the rest of this week. In fact, our risk is 2 out of 4 for excessive rainfall. We're expecting between 2.5 and 5 inches of rain. We would ask that our neighbors be a little sensitive to the fact that as we get more rain in and through our county and north of us as it comes into our county, Heads Creek is going to be a challenge for us again. So the reservoir is, we're going to be watching the reservoir very, very carefully over the course of the next few days. And if we need to close roads or bridges, we ask for some grace as we do that. Board of Commissioners, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for a great retreat this past weekend. Staff worked diligently to provide the material, and we are thankful for your guidance to move our community forward. The material that we discussed will be in support of our budget as we work into the next few months for our fiscal year 2025. Happy to report that the Aquatic Center pools are filled. And within the next week, our management company will begin training on the systems to operate the facility. So by next month's meeting, we will provide you with a full plan of events that we will have for a soft opening and then the final opening as we showcase this beautiful facility to our community. T-Splosh, Director Enberger is working with Paragon to bid the next phase of our resurfacing work. The RFP is scheduled for distribution by this time next week. There are also some other RFPs that the Board of Commissioners have asked us to work through. Spalding County issued the RFP for our financial software package with a close date of February the 23rd. The RFP requires those responding for the bids include a software module with a readily available or readily accessible dashboard that will be available for sharing our financial position with our community through graphs and charts. Our intent here is to be extraordinarily transparent with our financial position. Additionally, staff will issue the RFP for our master parks plan by the end of January. And the BOC will receive the draft it states RFP, but please forgive me, it's an RFQ. It's a request for qualifications for our legal services master service agreement by the end of this week for your review and comments. The utility work, we've got quite a
That's
bit.
for all 3, right?
We're
HR, the Newton, and then.
that is
yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Yes. We've
It's the
got
same
some.
language, right?
Correct. We've got some utility work going on in the community. And Comcast and Georgia EMC are working around the Sun City Peachtree area installing internet. They are legally working within the rights of way installing the fiber, so please give them a little bit of leeway. They do have a legal right to be there, so we would encourage our community to recognize that they need to drive slowly around these vehicles because there's a lot of work going on. Just as a reminder, 2.5 years ago, we had a conversation regarding how quickly our internet providers would be supplying internet across and through our county. They are doing that right now. So there's a lot of work going on, so give them a little bit of grace as we work forward. The ACCG annual conference is coming up. This conference provides a forum to conduct business, major business of the association, such as electing officers and considering resolutions in support of our legislative sessions that are ongoing. This conference will be held April 25th through the 28th at the Savannah Convention Center. If you plan to attend, please let us as staff know so that we can go ahead and make logistical arrangements for accommodations, because these hotels down there fill up very, very quickly, and we want to make sure that we get the best training that we can possibly get and to be readily available for some good networking opportunities. Mr. Chairman, that's all of my report this evening. I'm entertaining any questions.
Any questions? Is everybody planning on, let's just try to cover this, everybody planning on going to Savannah?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So all of us are, let's take care of that.
Awesome.
that way.
Thank you very much.
And,
Probably so.
Yep.
okay.
Okay.
Yes,
I know I am.
yes.
Yeah, I think my wife wants to come. I don't know.
Yeah.
We brought our kids one year. It was really great. Same hotel room.
It's not bad.
Don coming?
I mean, it's been 2 days early. Maybe a week early.
All right. We can take all the logistics offline if that's okay, and we will accommodate all 5 of our
Yes.
commissioners attending this great training opportunity. Thank you.
The
Commissioner
only
Johnson?
Couple
thing
of things.
is I really can't book it until they open it because,
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, yep.
because you get the special room rate.
We've been
Last
down
year-
that road before.
Oh,
Yes.
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 Okay,
All
2 or
right.
3 quick things. And I don't know if I made myself real clear in the question I was asking about the fees that are attached to the taxes that are not paid. That comes back to us though, in our budget, right? Do we get that? Is that a certain line item for that? Or is it under other or something, or is there, for those fees that we
That's
give back to
paid
those
to the
people? who don't-
Penalties and
Commission.
fines, it does come back to us as tax money. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because not
Just
that it's
while
any
we're
big deal.
talking about that, just nice to know information.
Yeah.
A number of counties have some big issues with trying to get most of those in, tax people not paying and stuff like
Right.
that. At the end of 2 years, at least a couple of years ago, at the end of 2 years, we get 99% of all those taxes. That's a huge
Right.
Mhm, that is.
But there's still fees attached to that.
Yes,
If
yes.
you're
And I'm just trying
late.
to figure out where they are and where do we fit that in, and what does it amount to? I was just curious what
It
you talk
just
about.
depends on how long you take to not pay back and how much your taxes are in the first place.
Yeah, well, as
It
far as
does. There's-
history.
So after, for the first 3 months, I believe, and this is just my real estate brain trying to remember, there's a penalty,
Mm-hmm.
and then after March, interest begins to accrue
Mm-hmm. That
at a
makes
rate
sense.
of 1%,
Okay.
so.
I'm thinking it's an accumulation, is what I'm thinking. That's all I'm wondering. Maybe not a whole lot, but I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what that dollar amount was maybe last year.
Every
No big deal.
penny counts.
Exactly. And where we actually put that under other, I got it. Okay, thank you for that. Erica, thank you so much for your reporting. I appreciate that. Very thorough of our financing. We need that maybe once a month, I would say, at our meetings. Thank you for that. Very, very helpful for us and for our citizens. Gosh, great presentation by Dr. Clark. I mean, you know, the more we actually have folks come in and actually let us know what's going on in the community and what we're doing and how we can actually support them, I think is vital. That shows that collaboration that we have.
If I
You know
could, let me make a comment about that. I spent some time talking with Dr. Clark about this. He says, I need to know the issues that you all are trying to work on. He said, I can go out. We found out about the nurses. He said, I didn't know we were having a huge problem with that until later. He said, now I know we were able to pick that up. So our job is to tell him, hey, we're interested in CDL, whatever we're interested to be able to do that, because he does not know if we don't tell him what the issues are. So
Okay.
absolutely great
Good.
point.
Okay, 2 more quick things. Don't forget about our chamber dinner. I know that we're having in February. You know, I mean, it's fun. I mean, you know, right now it's movies. I think it'd be really cool. We'll get together. Maybe we can kind of dress up, you know, and themed as a fantastic movie that we've had here in Spalding County. I'll work on that since I'm on the board.
Well,
And lastly, to ditto what Steve was saying about our retreat. Man, I just cannot say enough about how impressed I was with the facilitators. Of course, you know, the facility itself, you know, and the work we put into it and what we got, I felt like we got out of it. but you're only as good as what you get, what you put into it. So, you know, I really hope that we work toward the next quarter when we meet with them again and make the progress. We already know what we need to do, you know, so now it's implementation time, you know, and getting it done and getting that done. Thank you once again, Sheriff, for you attending that retreat. That was a big deal. You were part of that agenda. Thank you for coming. You know, I really appreciate that. We all did with that and what you're doing for us and what we continue to work with you. Fabulous. I'm excited. Thank you very much. That's it.
Okay. Commissioner Dutton?
Yeah, I'm excited to see all the RFPs moving forward and that increase in transparency. I'm really excited that that process is taking shape like it should. I want to let you guys know, after we spoke about it at the retreat, I was able to, on the ride home, call our entire legislative delegation and say, hey, we spoke about some local legislation to increase, create some new fees like our surrounding counties do, to increase some fees, and all of them went, sounds great, that sounds awesome. Then I encourage you guys to call them as well, because they go, hey, what about this issue? Hey, let's talk about this. What do you think about? And I go, hey, this is where we're at. You know, that was part of the conversation we had about the CI. Hey, we need to really get some reform. Hey, ours is running great. Like, I don't know what's going on down in Statesboro, but like, we're fantastic. So that said, hey, we could definitely use some more funding for it. So they went, oh yeah, really? I went, yeah, it's very expensive. And they go, oh, I hadn't, okay, let me look at that. So that primes them for when other organizations go, hey, this is no an issue. And they go, oh yeah, my local guy told me about that. So really excited. Hopefully we'll get those changes that we need done. Like Commissioner Johnson said, wow, our local options for education here, like, wow, like what an improvement since since I was a kid here growing up and having to drive 35 minutes one way to get to Gordon every day to, you know what I mean? Like that's so cool, man. And that College and Career Academy, you can graduate with your airplane mechanic certification and your pilot's license. Like, how cool is that? I would have totally done that. More people need to be aware there. My daughter, anytime that I'm driving them home from Rock Spring School where they go, she goes, can we swing by the aquatic center? I want to see how it's going. So after the daddy-daughter dance Saturday night, which I appreciate y'all letting y'all go to, me and my daughter go to, we stopped by there. We saw the water filling, the lights are on. All the doors are held closed with zip ties and wire. And I was like, oh, we still got a little bit to do here. But my daughter's going to pee in her pants. She's so excited. So I'm hoping that we get a bunch of people to come to the aquatic center. I hope we get a bunch of people to use it, because those usage fees go to defray the cost of running it, which is going to be substantial. So if we can, more people use it. And hey, that was what the SPLOST in 2016 was about. Hey, you guys said you wanted this thing and you wanted to use it. Okay, now's the time to come in, and this place needs to be packed every night, so we can pay for it. So we're hoping we get there. Speaking of budget things and paying for stuff, we're already starting this next budget cycle. So, those in the audience, those watching at home, if you've got strong opinions about it or think we're doing a bad job, send us an email, set up a time. We'd love to go over the entire thing with you. If we're not seeing something that we should be cutting, or, there's a change that we need to make, like, we'd love to have more eyes on it. We'd love to go through it with you. We'd love to, this is where the rubber meets the road. All these, things that we do are small when compared to our budget. So we need as many eyes on it as we can. Again, Dr. Ledbetter's done a just grand slam after grand slam job with it, but the more input we can get, look, outside views matter. And it's the same thing. Thanks to our wonderful sheriff for all that he does, just being the constitutional defender that he is. We just really appreciate him. We're excited to see where we're going with code enforcement and animal control. We're, the people in the county need to hear. We're aware that there's an issue. We're aware. We get those calls. We know we're absolutely working on it. This is a conscious thing that we're working on. The sheriff is mindful with us. We're all working in the same direction. And hopefully this year, we're going to see some really great improvements. So very excited there. And that's what I've got to.
Ms. Gwen? Vice Chair?
After this retreat we had this past weekend, I definitely think we're heading in the right direction on transparency. I'm very excited to have Ms. Erica up here explain some of the budget items tonight and just kind of just show where we're at and that we're in pretty decent shape right now and everything's on track. I'm very excited about getting these monthly videos and updates that we talked about going. It's gonna be the good, bad, the ugly. There's gonna be some things said that people aren't gonna like. There's gonna be some awesome things said. But at least we're showing people what's going on. I'd definitely like to see this website updated, because it is kind of sad when you go on there and what pops up. The boat ramp, I don't know if y'all seen the letter from the DNR. Our boat ramp got approved over there off of 16. It was paid for fully by our impact fee, so.
Oh, on the Flint?
On the Flint,
Oh,
yeah, that's gonna
nice.
be awesome. Give us
Yeah.
something to do over there, because we ain't
Nice.
got nothing over on that side, but that's gonna be awesome. And reservoir, you mentioned that a while ago. Is there any update on when it may be completed and this stuff will be over with?
We're working with the city to get that information, so as soon as we get the update, we will pass that along and place it out on the website so everybody can see.
Cool. Even though it is completed, it's still not gonna stop. 'Cause, I mean, we've never had this procedure before with closing the bridges and stuff on that side. It's kinda new to me, but, I know it's just something we gotta look at in the future. Thank you.
Okay. Ditto the issues for the sheriff taking the time to come talk to us and making sure that we got all the yucky stuff out of the way and understood and got everything back on board. Thank you all for those that have taken and done the things we said already among ourselves. Tonight was a good example of some of it tonight, which was could have been more complicated. I want to thank Ms. Gwynn for what she's trying to do on mental health. Behind the scenes, trying to get a builder to build a building to be able to help us be able to do stuff and getting the right people involved and starting that process all the way around. Trying to get, and as an example, the CSB, mental health and substance abuse people, opening up our crisis center to the law enforcement people so that they can come out, and those that have never seen it, some people just take people and drop them off there. It's an opportunity, take less than an hour to go through, but it's a good opportunity for everybody to go out and see it. That's all I've got at this time. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive session?
Second.
You got to list the reasons.
Oh, I don't know.
And it's two. It's
I don't know.
employment and potential litigation.
Somebody make the reason.
Let Brian
I'll
read
read
it.
it. Can I make the motion?
Yes, go ahead. 'cause I-
I'm gonna make the motion to go into closed session, to consult with the county attorney and legal counsel to discuss pending or potential litigation, settlement claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought against the county or any officer or employee, or in which the county or any officer or employee may be directly involved as provided in OCG 50-14-2, and also to discuss the future acquisition of real estate as provided in OCGA 50-14-3.
Have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. We're in closed session, executive session. We will come back out and
Hopefully
finish
shortly.
up.
Hey, and one of these,
Okay. You want to do the second one first?
whichever
No.
one I'm not confident.
Okay. Is it the real estate acquisition? Okay.
I'm confident on one, so let's do the other one first.
cake breakfast coming out? To sell so many? Jimmy and I want two, so. Okay, okay. Next time we're together, whenever it is. All right?
Okay, okay.
right,
Mr. Chairman,
we're ready?
I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
All right, I have a motion to come out of executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. 4-0. Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
I second my own motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand.
Yay.
4-0. We're done. I'm gaveling.
Okay.
Oh, he
Oh, yeah, I like it.